It's been a long time coming. Kiwifarms is scrambling. Null has been felted. The detractors are desperately trying to damage control the situation. DSP has gotten yet another epic W over his haters. Right? This is the reality of the situation, right? After years of controlling the narrative, having dozens and dozens of detractor accounts, having their own website, their own board on Kiwifarms where they can make fun of Phil with no contest, make stuff up about him, come up with all these crazy allegations, that don't need to be proven, right? After years of doing this, after years of harassing Phil and bothering him, and making him out to be some terrible person, the truth has come out that Phil is a normal guy, right? He is not some evil, malicious, just individual online, right? He's not actively trying to, ruin video games. He's not, the Antichrist. He is Philip Burnell, DSP, right? He is just a man, as Review Tech USA would say. And what that means is that everything that's happened in regards to the past several years, right, in regards to there being an entire industry of YouTube channels, churning out content, trying to make him look bad and do all this, because Philip has come out on Kino Casino and started talking openly about what's been going on, being a lot more candid, being a lot more genuine with people. People are beginning to realize that the community around him is complete and total crap, right? People are beginning to realize that the people who obsessively cover Phil and talk about everything he does and microanalyze every little thing he says and does, that they are objectively worse than he is. And there are a handful of high-profile examples I can point to of people like that. Review Tech USA has had an insane downturn over the past several years, right? I was shocked when I went through his channel recently and saw just how many streams he had dedicated to making fun of DarkSydePhil, right, of harassing DarkSydePhil, trying to make himself look better than DarkSydePhil, right? People like Nick Rekieta, right, who will sit in his office and just make fun of DSP's personal bankruptcy, try to talk about his legal issues, even though he's a non-practicing attorney, right? People attacked Phil because they understood that there was a very strong audience of people who would come out and support them for doing it, right? This is the DarkSydePhil community. Is that... No. Not just the DarkSydePhil community. The lolcow community in general, right? It's shocking to me how many people on Kiwifarms have these, huge, gigantic, hefty threads, right? You can scroll through there and see all these people on there, and when you compare them to actual lolcows, right? To me, it seems like Kiwifarms has declined to the point where they can make threads about anyone, and nothing on there has to be true at all, right? People will just post whatever they want. And because the website is reasonably unmoderated, you can get away with completely making things up about all sorts of different people, whether it's Donald Trump or Doug Walker, AVGN. There are lots of examples of high-profile YouTubers, content creators that are being harassed by Kiwi farmers or people adjacent to them that really don't deserve any kind of backlash or criticism at all. Because when you get right down to it, what is James Rolfe doing? That his YouTube channel isn't good anymore. Like, so just don't watch it. Like, why are you so obsessed with this individual that you'll spend your time harassing him for like a decline in quality of content? And again, I don't even disagree with that, right? Like, I am 100% on board with like acknowledging that like AVGN is not what it used to be. But at the same time, I would never want to like harass James for doing it, right? All you have to do is just tune out and do something else, right? If it's not fun, if it's not engaging, like what? Why even bother, right? Like, I can't imagine being the kind of person who like sits on Kiwifarms and like tries to convince himself that like, this year will be the year of Spoonie. Lord Cat has gotten felted, and now like Spoonie is going to have his great return. Like, it's not gonna happen, you know? Like, and again, like, not only do I not like, but even though I don't like Spoonie, right? Even though I know he's never going to come back, he's never going to be relevant again, that nobody cares about him, that he couldn't compete in today's YouTube ecosystem. Like, even though I know that very well, like, I wouldn't sit around and talk about it endlessly, right? Again, the Kiwi Farm community has this, used to have this reputation of being extremely well researched and having these, having people like go into great autistic detail about the lives of internet celebrities, right? Incels, we should call them. They used to like be seen as being somewhat reliable, and the stuff that they would say was completely 100% true. But people are beginning to understand that is not necessarily the case, right? With Philip Burnell, like, this guy was made out to be evil when really he was just some guy, right? You have like countless examples of people like that. And it's leading to this culture where people are just disregarding what Kiwifarms has to say. I can tell you this, Nick Rekieta, right? I was one of the first people to come out, one of the first, not the first, but like one of the very first people to come out and say, Nick Rekieta is a degenerate. He's doing this, and this. Like, the channel will suffer a decline in the near future. He's alienating his audience. Like, he is a terrible person, right? And what happens? Kiwifarms comes out and damage controls for him. Like, no, Nick is our guy. He's cool. Like, he's awesome. Like, he has a hot wife. Like, they did all of these things to try and like damage control this complete degenerate. Like, a major reason why people did not understand that Nick Rekieta was a terrible person was because of Kiwifarms going to bat for him, right? So not only are they attacking people that don't deserve to be attacked, really, like, they're defending people who are like major league grifters, who have conned like thousands of people into supporting them under like the mistaken idea that they're going to do something about like about cultural problems, or that they're going to talk about important legal issues and like be a voice for the people on the internet, right? Like, again, there were reasons that people were fired up about Rekieta and wanted to support him and wanted him to keep doing what he was doing, and he threw it all away to be a degenerate. And it's true that like it fell apart eventually, but because of Kiwifarms, because of what they were doing, because of how they were conducting themselves, because of their refusal to see the truth, right? There were people on the forum who were talking about like these issues like years and years before like it became mainstream, but all of them were disregarded, ignored, and made fun of, right? Like, again, this is becoming a real problem. Like, Kiwifarms is an unreliable source of information. And I think this recent redemption arc of DarkSydePhil really demonstrates that fact very clearly.